Sometimes you're just ashamed that you live in Britain. So sometimes it's just Kitchen knives could be seized from homes of suspected criminals. Hold on, I need to adjust this because they still can't format a website. Suspected criminals under new Home Office plans being considered. Ministers will consult police forces on giving them extra powers to seize knives. There has been an 11% increase in knife crime in England and Wales. You know, maybe that salad you wanted to make, yeah, well, tough. You're not allowed knives. Gonna need to do what they do in prison, where they just bite into it and spit it into the pan. That's what you'll do. However, before we get into the video... But before we get started, it is in fact your boy, Raid Shadow Legends. Raid has taken gaming by storm and has brought a true console-level experience to gaming on the move. Here you will conquer raids, dungeons, campaign battles and bosses, and my personal favourite mode, the PvP arena. In addition, there are hundreds of artifacts and buffs, with over 600 unique champions to choose from, so you can fight your battles the way you want. People sometimes ask which 4 historical people you would invite to a dinner party, but in this case, to celebrate last month's 4-year anniversary of Raid, I'm going to choose 4 champions I could see myself having a beer with. Hurndig, because he looks like he could keep up and handle a drink, while being a versatile champion that can dish out a lot of critical damage. He's a bit of a glass cannon in a lot of fights. Gala Longbraids is very similar in a lot of ways to Hurndig, and since she's also a dwarf, I feel like they would be fun to party with. She can deal out a massive amount of damage and is good for almost any activity. Under Priest Brogni is a much more defensive champion, but that's not to be taken as weakness. He uses his protected shield buffs to make his team very powerful, and also make sure enemies take some of the damage that they try to deal to you. Lastly, there is Kyoku. While being the only one here that isn't from the dwarf faction, her armour is amazing, and with that massive shield, she can negate 50% of all damage to your team. Also, you can increase her defensive capabilities by having another champion that can increase buff timers. And this April, Raid is doing an egg hunt, except this time for dragon eggs. Just download Raid Shadow Legends using the links in the description, copy your in-game player ID, and then head over to egghunt.plarium.com from April the 14th to May the 15th, enter your player ID, and then journey through the flaming portal to embark on an exciting AR adventure. Scour the dragon's lair using your phone, and if you find the hidden egg, you'll be in for a chance to win amazing in-game items and even real-life prizes, ranging from a legendary Raid champion to Amazon gift cards worth a total of $20,000. Existing Raid players can join in on the fun as well. Just go to egghunt.plarium.com and you'll find a special promo code that everyone can use to earn a small gift in-game. Use my link in the description box down below or scan the QR code on the screen to download Raid for free on your phone or PC and get some awesome bonuses, including the epic champion Drake of the Lizardmen faction and other useful items such as energy refills, skill tomes and XP boosters. Once you're in and crushing your enemies, come find me under the name Count Dankula TV, and if you're fast enough, you can join my clan. Kitchen knives could be seized from the homes of suspected criminals under a proposed Home Office plan. Police will be consulted by ministers to allow them extra powers to seize, retain and destroy bladed articles kept in private, even if the knives are not on the Home Office's banned list of weapons. According to The Telegraph, the move is one of numerous measures created to harden up sentences for selling, importing, pardon me, and possessing knives. Selling, import, I can literally go down to Asda right now and get a knife for like £2. I can literally just go down and buy a knife. Sorry, I've got hiccups. The Ben Kinsella Trust noted an 11% increase in knife crime in England and Wales in the 12 months to September 2022, with police recording 50,434 offences involving a knife or sharp instrument during that period. A total of 20 knives and similar weapons are banned in the UK, including belt buckle knives, push daggers, spiral knives, butterfly knives, swords and stealth knives. I've actually got my big massive sword next door. There are a bunch of knives that are banned, but what is it meant to be? A non-locking knife that's under 3 inches in length. You're legally allowed to carry that, apparently, but the police are going to stop you and charge you anyway because you need to have a legal reason for doing so. Ministers have pointed out that police have their hands tied when raiding suspect criminals. Blah. When raiding suspected criminals' homes, can you tell the lack of sleep's catching up to me? If they come across weapons that are not on the banned list, including machetes. Officers are not allowed to seize weapons if they are not banned, even if they are suspected to have been used in crimes. Machetes are set to be outlawed under plans to be announced by ministers today. Machetes are already outlawed in Scotland. Because we kind of have a history with those things, don't we? Sales of the long-bladed weapons will be banned except for legitimate use, such as gardening and outdoor pursuits. A consultation... Well, that's a lot of shite, I can tell you that right now. One of my mates, a friend of mine, was actually out in the middle of the woods doing bushcraft. And then as he was walking home, he had his knife on him, and it was literally, what's it called, a multi-tool. So the knife on the multi-tool is like, it's tiny. It's a tiny little thing. But because he had that, the police arrested him, charged him, kept him in the cells over the weekend. On Monday morning, he got bailed. He waited about like 6-7 months to finally go to court with that hanging over his head. And when the judge actually saw it and saw he was doing bushcraft, the judge immediately threw out the case. And everyone's going, oh, well, that's absolutely fine then. No, he spent like 4 days in jail. He spent 4 days in jail and had to go through like having that charge hanging over his head for 7 months. The state doesn't just get to go, oopsie, and like, that's it. Like, nah. No, you don't get to do that. I think in every single case like that, there should be massive compensation paid. A consultation paper published by Home Secretary Suella Braverman suggests the maximum jail term for selling, importing or manufacturing prohibited blades should be increased from 6 months to 2 years. It also sets out proposals to increase the penalties for possessing the weapons. Changes will ban a wider range of zombie knives, which were made illegal in 2016. That's the fucking mental, crazy looking. You might get some cocaine dealer from Nuneaton carrying that thing around while he calls everybody blood and he's wearing like a Monster Energy hat. Like that, those knives, like, zombie knives just look like, I don't know, they look like a CSGO or Call of Duty skin. They're stupid. They're honestly stupid things. They don't even look practical. It comes after Policing Minister Chris Philip said he wanted to update the law to make it an offence to sell huge blades online or in high street shops or possess them in the home. Interesting. The weapons, which usually have a double serrated edge, are banned only if they carry images or words that suggest it is to be used for the purpose of violence. The loophole has been blamed on an increase in robberies and street violence in which gangs have attacked one another and intimidated members of the public with the terrifying weapons. Was that the end? There we go. That's the end of the article. But yeah, so it's going to eventually get to the point because, like I say, it's like everyone's like, oh, it's just going to be... Oh, it's okay, you're just banning knives. You're just not allowed to carry them in the street. And that was the way it was for a while. Oh, it's okay, they're just banning knives. You're just not allowed to have them in the house. Oh, okay, they're just banning knives. And then blah, blah, blah. And then it keeps going and going because the way the government works, if you give them an inch, they try and take a mile because their original intention was to take fucking 10 miles, but they know it's a long, slow, steady process, right? They push, you know, quote Jordan Peterson, they push a little bit until you start screaming and then they stop. And then they push a little bit more until you start screaming and then they stop. But each time you're giving up ground. Right? So basically they came after the guns and everyone was like, oh, it's brilliant. We've not had any. There's still gun violence in Britain, right? Everyone's like, there's no gun violence. Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. There's no mass shooting. Yeah, there is. There's still mass shootings. Right? Nobody remembers like Derek Bird and all those type of people as well. No, but Britain has exactly 0 mass shootings since Dunblane. That's a lie. No, that is a complete lie. We've still had mass shootings. Right, we had one not long ago down in England as well, the guy with the shotgun. There was Derek, but I believe Derek Bird was the name. He just drove around in his taxi, blowing people away. Right, so we have had mass shootings, right, but we've also not got any guns. The criminals still have guns. The criminals still keep getting, because see how whenever the migrants come over and everyone's cheering on, oh yeah, the boat migrants coming over. It's not just migrants in those boats, right? It's not. A lot of them are carrying guns with the intention of once they get that, like, sometimes that's the fee. That's the fee for coming over, right? Whenever they arrive in Britain, they then have to meet up with criminal gangs to hand over the drugs or weapons or whatever else they're carrying on them, right? It's not just migrants in those boats. And also there's boats that come over from Norway and everything like that as well that carry guns. So, yeah, so criminals have guns. Criminals absolutely have guns. In fact, there was a fucking shooting. There was a gangland shooting like 3 weeks ago. Like, there's this thing, I don't know why it is in Scotland, where they go up, knock the door, and when the guy answers, they just fucking Gail Betiker them. Like, that's the way that gangland shootings are done in Scotland, for some reason, right? But yeah. So yeah, there's still shootings, there's still mass shootings, but this average person, the average law-abiding citizen, doesn't have guns, and what's happening? Well, we're literally about to lose our right to protest, so yeah, how's the gun ban going? We're losing all of our fucking rights, that's why. What are we going to do about it? Well, not protest, because that's been made illegal. What else can we do about it? Rise up, we what? We're not even allowed knives. What is it? Sticks and stones? We're going to go after the police who are armed, who are going to have a lot of guns, with sticks and stones? Ah, well, too late. Bye-bye. Britain's fucked. But yeah, this is just absolutely stupid and horrendous and daft, right? Because everyone can still, like, everyone's like, yeah, we'll confiscate all the knives from the home. Acting like you can't just literally go down to Asda and buy an entire set of knives for like 15 quid. Like, literally, it's probably cheaper than that. A knife is an easy thing to just go out and buy. Confiscate it from the home all you want. The person just has to go down the road and buy a new one for a couple of quid. Right? This achieves absolutely nothing. Right? It's just performative, absolute nonsense. But then again, such is the way of government.